post-playing career. We bring it up because we have two guys that lead great examples right now. Martellus, starting with you. You are continuing to build your children's basically media company while you're still playing and figuring out what you're going to do next. But we talked about it earlier with the Imagination Agency, which is inspired by your daughter.
Yes.
And your goal is creating children's media that features children of color. And you self-published your first book, Hey AJ, It's Saturday, in 2016, and your second book, Hey AJ, It's Bedtime, is available for pre-order now. So this is something you've kind of had in your mind for years, or this is something that's kind of recent?
Especially with football, you got to start preparing for your life after football from day one, because you're one play away from being over. And I always say football is kind of like when you first come in the league, you're a lion, right? And then you're a lion, and then the vet is a gazelle. And every day the gazelle wakes up, the gazelle has to run because the lion is trying to catch it, right? Yeah. But then after a while, you catch that gazelle. And the bad thing about catching that gazelle, when you eat it, you turn into the gazelle, and a new lion is coming in every single day. So they're trying to replace you for someone faster, cheaper, better every single year. So you got to be like, okay, what's next? I know this is not forever because the average career is 3.5 years. So what's my next move? And what do I want to do? And what do I want to become? And with sports, it's hard because we lose our identities in the sport. And we lose a little bit of ourselves because we never really explore these other options, especially in school, like we talked about earlier. We're mostly majoring in eligibility, right? It's like, what could keep me eligible?
Exactly.
That's exactly what I want to do. So, like, and there's this gap of education, right? Because, like, once you get to the league, guys aren't reading books. They're not studying. They're not keeping up with tech. They're not doing these things. So when you get out of that football or whatever world you're in, there's this 8-year gap. You play for 8 years. There's an 8-year gap of education that you're even further behind because you weren't a part of it. Then we retire. If I retire today, I'm 31. So it's like,
you got the rest of your life, Eddie.
I gotta work. Like, I'm gonna run out of money.
Yeah, but how many guys are that savvy like you that you kind of foreseen the end of your career and started planning and have things in shape or starting to mold what you want to do post-playing career in the middle of it?
I think the hardest part of it, they don't know what they want to do. Yeah. So I tell guys they got to explore, like try stuff. Like off season, everybody just want to play video games and smoke weed and eat cereal, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, which sounds cool until day 8. Day 8, you're like, oh, whatever, you know what I'm saying?
Day 8, I'm like, oh, shit.
I got to do something.
I think I do something else.
Like, you hand the guy a book and they act like it's the most foreign thing ever. Get that away from me. What is that?
Shit, I left school. I don't know.
The power of Christ compels you. The power of Christ compels you. That is the devil. A book, that's the devil. So.
But what about NBA guys?
That is so true, though.
Oh.
Someone asked me after I signed my big deal, you gonna go back and get your degree? What? For $100,000 job? Fuck out my face. I ain't reading shit.
So I think you start preparing for the moment that you get interested in it. And I think a lot of times it's hard because especially in football, if you're an individual, they're like, oh, he has outside interests. He's not focused on the game. He likes coloring books and he likes to watch anime. He makes movies. And so, like, for me, I've always been like, I intern at Nickelodeon. I go to, Leica Studios. I just go just study all the people that I like, and I read a lot of books. I read at least one book every 2 weeks, so I'm just consuming books because a lot of stuff I didn't go to school for. I don't know how to do animation. I just watched a ton of movies and be like, I always felt like if Walt Disney could do it, then why not me? He human, like, oh yeah, Walt was cool, but like, I got cool stories about ladies going into a hole and meeting a cat. So I just felt like life, you prepare, it's just like the grasshopper and the ant, right? Yeah. You want to start preparing, you want to start building your own thing up because they don't really care. Once they're done with you, they're done with you. Like, no one wants to talk to you. You're lucky you may be able to coach. I'm not really, you do a little bit of TV stuff.
Yeah. Yo,
slow turn.
Slow turn. You see me turn to
yo, why Gil look? He's like, I don't know what you're talking about.
I don't want to work for nobody. Like, working for people in sports is one of the worst. Like, you gotta be there when they want you to be there. You gotta work out when they tell you want to work out. So, and growing up, my dad worked at Enron, and after Enron collapsed and he lost his job, I just saw the struggles. I was like, I don't want to go to this shit at all. Like, I want my job to have to do with the problems of other people. So I was like, I'm just gonna build my own company. I feel like when I build my own company, I could do exactly what I want to do and create the world that I want to create for people to experience what I want them to experience. So when I started the Imagination Agency, it was just like, One, it was out of need because, like, say children's book, only 2.7% of children's books are characters of color.
Wow.
So out of every 100 books, you lucky. Like you try, that's like finding a needle on the hand sack. You know what I'm saying? Like you ain't got to worry about that. Like you ain't got to. What?
Hey, yo, he did the same thing.
Yo, he does this every episode. It's good. It's good.
Like, he ain't got to worry about that. Like he ain't got to worry about taking his kid to a movie and hoping that they see their likeness on the screen as a superhero or as a a magician. Like in Harry Potter, there's 2 black wizards. You know what I'm saying? Then they become the anomaly. Yeah, but they're not main wizards. They're like one's a newscaster. You see her in the Goblet of Fire episode.
I was like, I watched all of them. I don't remember.
But think about that. So like for me, it's like telling stories where it encourages kids of color saying that they too can go on great adventures. Because I didn't have that. Like we grow up and it's like Static Shock. You know, who wants to watch Static Shock? And so it's just like try to give them something that they can relate to that empowers them to not only see themselves on the screen, but create their own stories. Because for so long, people have been creating stories for us. And it goes back even further. Like it goes back to slavery, right? So like if you think about the way the books are written, there's hundreds of years where they didn't write books for us because we couldn't read, right? Because there was no reason for there to be children's books with characters of color because they weren't writing for us. All the authors were white. All the characters were white because they was writing them for the white kids. We weren't allowed to read. So now that we're allowed to read, I feel like to catch up, there's a huge 300, 400 year gap to try to make a small dent into what we're trying to do as far as making representation. So the best thing I could do is I can't do it by myself. So I have to raise young creators. So I'm always encouraging kids to create because they're going to be the ones that create more content. They're going to fill the gap.
That's real.
It's hot up here.
You've been talking for 5 minutes.
I know. I try to get my TV. If I'm on TV, I'm going to get my TV. Mama! I'm here right now, out of bounds, on complex. I'm doing my thing. I got some water and got the cup. I got logos on the cup. I wear my own company shirt. Hey, you can get these on the Imagination.
So let me run it down. He's openly lobbied for phone posits from Penny Hardaway. He's marketed his book, and he shouted out his mama. I win it.
Now,
My mom always feels left out.
Now, real talk. You alluded to, what the deal is right now. You're a free agent. Your brother just got traded to the Eagles. There's been reports that you would like to potentially team up with him again.
I mean,
what's going on?
The only thing I didn't do in my career that I always wanted to do was play with my brother. Yeah. And that would just be so awesome to do it, right? And we were roommates in college. We were only 16 months apart. So high school teammates, roommates in college, played together in college, came to the NFL. We always end up in places. There was a couple times where we thought we were going to play together, but didn't happen. So like now I'm actually free and he's in a place. I mean, I don't know if Philadelphia is interested in me or not, you know what I'm saying?
But this is the place to put into the universe and make it happen. Make it 4 for 4. Go ahead.
The Super Bowl champs know that they need you.
I mean, I ain't lobbying for no job. If you want me, you know where to find me. They got my phone number.
They got my brother's number.
They got direct contact to my line. They can text me right now.
Yeah, I'm number one on his what's the name.
I mean, I'm like, so for me, like, I'm at a point in my life where it's just kind of like, yeah, I mean, that sounds really cool. You know what I'm saying? If the numbers are right, like playing football for free is not cool.
No, I wouldn't. Yeah.
You played under Mike Rowe with the Bears, right?
Yeah, I played with.
And now he's their offensive coordinator.
Yeah, I forgot about that. I might not be able to play there.
Never mind that. Okay.
But Mike Grove's a great coach, though. Like he was one of the best coaches I've seen at like the receiver position, just like an overall coach. He's a really good.
But do you care? Do you care about that criticism that people will give you about your tenure in Green Bay earlier this season? Does it bother you at all? Like, do you care about it?
No, they.
He was like, I don't.
Man, everybody say all kinds of shit about people, but they never really know. Like, what you realize is that people are fans of corporations, right? Because the corporations have been there for them forever, so they're tied to that corporation, especially with a fan base like Green Bay. But like for me, I come and go. Like there will be another black tight end to come in, wear the same jersey number, run the way I run, do whatever. So the circumstances are the circumstances. Like, and people are like, oh, you quit? I got cut.
Right.
Like, how can you quit when you got cut? Like, I ain't quit. They cut me, you know what I'm saying? Which was fucked up. But at the same time, it's like, you move on. Like, you learn that it's like if I worked at Apple and Dell offered me more money, I would go work at Dell, right? Unless I just really like Apple products like that. I don't know anyone there shopping at Dell, but hey, Dell, if you need somebody to design you a really good product, come holler at your boy.
Placement.
Oh man.
Nah, but like I'm not really upset. Like it don't really bother me because what can they say about me that they haven't said about me, right?
That's real.
I mean, I got a beautiful wife, a beautiful daughter. You know what I'm saying? My house is nice. I got AC all the time. You know what I'm saying? My AC.
That's the Black Walt Disney.
I got an AC all the time. I just need some. I just see something right now. If you see him, look up like I need it right now.
I need G.
But, like those are the type. Like I get like I was telling somebody when I feel like someone asked me like, man, when do you feel your richest? It's like there's 2 times when I felt very rich. One time I have a standard poodle named Wednesday. I was walking my standard poodle and reading a book. And I was walking her without a leash, right? Because she's totally trained, right? I'm like, stop. She stops and let me catch up with her. I'm flipping my pages. So I felt really rich that day because it was in the middle of the afternoon. Everybody else was at work except for me. And then the next time was like I picked my daughter up from school like at 12, and by 12:27, we roasting s'mores in the middle on a Thursday afternoon. It's like s'mores is like this thing where it's a whole thing. Like, let's go roast s'mores. Let's camp out.
Yeah,
It's Thursday afternoon. I'm out there roasting s'mores with my daughter. We sharing s'mores. We couldn't eat dinner that night because we ate so many s'mores. It's like, but that's when I feel like those moments are like when you feel the best. And there's nothing that people could do to take those moments I experienced with my family away from me. So it's like.
So outside noise you don't give a damn about.
Oh, no, man, they can't bother me. You know, half those people don't even like themselves. I came in, they threw stones at Jesus, and he was perfect.
Sound like real talk to me?
They would throw stones at us. Like somebody probably throw.
I'm
They
a
could. They probably throw one through the screen right now.
It'd be at
It might be
Pierce.
me. It might be me. You didn't return my text, man. Yeah.
They leave all these comments. Like people leave these comments and stuff. Like okay. Like
Oh, trust me, this is a dude that hates my guts
That's what I said.
every day. Well, actually, he came around. He's like, you ain't showing personality this entire season. Now you finally doing it.
He likes me though.
Yeah, he calls you a white N-word.
Yeah.
So,
wait,
yeah.
what?
That's a white nigga right there.
Yeah, he calls him the white N-word.
How does it make you feel when someone says that to you?
I'm part of the crew now, you know.
You're not that part of the crew,
He didn't
right?
know what to do. He said,
You don't want that burden on you, bro. You don't want that burden on you.
no idea what to
What
do.
makes white people
Uncomfortable. Oh, your brother's book. What makes white people uncomfortable?
That right there.
Yeah, my brother has a book coming. I wrote the forward in it. I have to admit that the forward in there was just so fantastical. It's like I used a full metaphor for like 1,000 words. It's just one full metaphor, and it's just beautiful.
And now you have promo that you can cut.
Yeah, send me a copy. Yeah.
Use it. Just what makes white people.
Yeah, let me know if it makes you uncomfortable.
I
Yeah.
don't know. Next topic. Jordan Clarkson.